Good morning, everyone. Hey, it works. Good to see you all here. It's a great day for the state of Ohio, a great day for the Ohio State University. And I just want to say that I've been really impressed and proud to be an observer for what I've seen happen with the leadership of our speaker and the leadership of President Drake and Dean Brown, and for their vision on what I think will be a very important feature for the public sector here in Ohio. I've been in office now 24 years, and I have seen that government seems to be getting more and more complicated. And sometimes we need to learn more about how to navigate around that complex system, but also we also been working very hard to create tools that our local elected officials and state legislators and state officials can use to make our state a better place in which to live. And I think that's what the essence of this is all about. It's about making sure that those who are elected, those who are serving in public service, have the knowledge and the skill set to use those tools to improve our quality of life here in Ohio. And the person who I think has played the biggest role in this vision is our very own Speaker of the Ohio House, Cliff Rosenberger, and at this time I'd like to introduce him.
Thank you. Really appreciate our Speaker Pro Tem being with us. It's a great opportunity to be here on Ohio State's campus today and to be able to announce and introduce the State of Ohio Leadership Institute, which has been a long time coming. A lot of people have said, well, this must have just somehow popped up and been put in the budget. Well, actually, that's not the case. And this has been a project for a little over 2 years now, probably, that we've had opportunity to work on this. And I've appreciated the partnership, not only of Ohio State, but UC, who also participated in this for some time. And I appreciate the partnership of President Ophoff and the governor, who also has seen the light of this. But in a lot of sense, the coming of this institute has been talking with a lot of local government officials, because this is not just for the Ohio legislature. And over time, this is going to be something greater that will be able to help and back up the Ohio legislature in a lot of its functions, from the role of budgeting in the state to policy initiatives that happen throughout the state. But most importantly, its major emphasis is going to be on that of helping our local township trustees and our county commissioners, our city council members, from the smallest of villages to the largest of cities, to our school board members, and all elected government individuals that can benefit from these services. And I really appreciate all the time and emphasis that Ohio State, especially the John Glenn School, has put forward, that with the assistance of Dean Brown, but most importantly, my friend President Drake, who has also been right and a part of this whole process in the long run. This is also not only about those elected officials, but those individuals that are standing behind me, the students of Ohio State, and the interactions that they will be able to have with real-world hands-on experience in dealing with elected officials throughout our state, both from the local level all the way up to our state level. And that's the exciting portion of this institute. And while this is a pinprick of where this institute will have to go, I'm more than confident that under Dean Brown and President Drake's leadership that this will continue to expand and will not only do something that could eventually serve the state of Ohio, but our nation as a whole. As president of the National Speakers Conference, the one thing that I hear more and more across from a lot of my colleagues is the need for more training and more ability for those folks to have the opportunity to have a place to sit together and to have the ability to build synergies with our local government partners. And this is going to give that opportunity to move forward. So with that, let me take the opportunity to introduce to you the new captain of this ship, Dean Brown.
Good morning. I want to first start off by thanking Speaker Rosenberger for all the work he's put into making this come to reality. It is an important vision that he's laid out to enhance the capabilities of elected officials at the state and local level. It's an area that I have to admit schools like ours have to some degree been neglectful of over the years. Programs in public administration and public affairs have been very strong contributors to improving the capabilities of government, but primarily on the executive side. The program here at Ohio State dates back to 1969, then the Division of Public Administration, and our job was to make government work better. And that largely meant training civil servants, and I'm proud to say I think we've done that exceptionally well. But over time, the institution of government that has not been given the same amount of training and attention is the legislative side of government. That's at both the state and the local level. So we are very, very proud to help walk into that space and enhance the capabilities of the legislative side of government by training newly elected officials at the state and local level. Now, I'm sure all of you know that we lost somebody very near and dear this year. Senator Glenn passed away in December. He was aware of this possibility, as Speaker Rosenberger said. We've been in conversation about this for some time, so he was aware of the vision. And I have to say, in his waning days, it was one of the things he was most excited about in terms of his own legacy. I can think of no person who was as committed to public service as Senator Glenn, and someone who chose the path of elected service. He saw his duty as serving the people of Ohio as an elected representative. And he was always committed to learning. So he always knew that just because you'd achieved some accomplishment, you were never done. Just because you were elected to office, you weren't finished in that learning process. So this thrilled him to know that other elected officials, even though they may have great expertise in all sorts of other fields, can come to learn about what it means to serve the public, to serve your party, to serve an institution, and to serve the state. So he coined a simple phrase here when he helped create what was then the Glenn School and then ultimately the Glenn College, and that was to inspire citizenship and to develop leadership. Knowing that he's up there watching down on us, I also speak with great pride knowing that he's sleeping comfortably knowing that we are going to continue to advance his legacy by helping to train and inspire the next generation of elected leaders. So it's, again, with great pleasure that we are able to begin this journey of advancing the Speaker's vision of creating this institute. In a moment, we'll answer some questions, and I'm happy to talk through any of the details to the degree that they're formed at this point. But I'd like to just turn it over briefly to the president of Ohio State University, because this is not only a partnership between the Glenn College and the state of Ohio. Fundamentally, it's a partnership between the Ohio State University and the state of Ohio. President Drake.
Well, thank you very much, Dean Brown, and I'd like also to thank the Speaker and the President Pro Tem for their vision and for this opportunity to work together. We speak often of public-private partnerships as being a part of the way that we have influence and are effective in our work, but public-private government partnerships are another way to approach or to visualize our working together, and our working with our government officials, state, local, and federal is a very, very important part of our position as a university, what we do as a university, and this is a way to enhance that. As Dean Brown mentioned, this college is named in honor of Senator Colonel Glenn, who was an inspiring presence for us, and we were reminiscing just moments ago about this very spot when just a couple of years ago we announced the transition of the school to a college, and how this meant really that it was to have a broader vision, a broader mission, broader connectivity. And this ability to be able to connect with government officials in helping to guide them toward being more effective public servants is something that fits exactly with our mission. And again, as Dean Brown said, something that would have been entirely in line with the way the senator conducted his life. You mentioned him looking down on us. You know, he's one of the few people who actually look down on us literally as well as figuratively, and he really did see the world as a place, as a whole, that could work together to do a better job. And I think that if we can help our local officials, particularly those who are new in office, get a head start on what it means to work together on behalf of the broad society that we all have the privilege of representing and living in, I think that's a big benefit for all of us. And we look for this at Ohio State University. We do our very best to be national leaders in the fields that we are involved in, and so we'd like very much for this to be a national model of a place that people can come to be able to get a leg up on being able to provide that quality service and really be effective in government. I'll finish by saying I happen to be facing a high school reunion, and I've been talking to old high school classmates over these last few days. Actually, they're old. I'm not. But I was talking to one actually just over the weekend, and she was speaking, somebody I've known since I was 10, and she was speaking about government and how difficult it is to work with the government and sharing frustrations that she was having. And I was saying that, on the contrary, we have very strong and very positive relationships with government officials who are elected from a variety of points of view, representing different points of view in different regions and different segments of our society, but coming together wanting to do things for the good of us all. And if we can participate in helping them to be more successful in that work, that's something that we care a great deal about.